Hey, greatness, Latalia Palmer, the Dream Igniter here, reminding you that dreams do come true. I am so honored to be a co-author alongside my amazing powerhouse co-author sisters as we celebrate and announce the official book launch and virtual summit for the She Is Well book, Volume 1, Power, Strength, and Wellness. This book and summit's visionary and host is none other than my girl, my sister, my friend, Delana K. Watkins. We kick off this powerful event on March 21st. It is a life-changing historical book that is being released during Women's HERstory Month to make an even greater impact on the world. We are sharing powerful stories, telling our truths, and purging toxic scenarios as we continue on the journey to be well while encouraging other women to join us. So please share, support, and register to attend this book launch and virtual summit at www.sheiswellbooks.com.
Woo! Yes. I couldn't have done an intro commercial better myself than I wanted to. Wait a minute. Hold on. Natalia, you did that, okay?
You brought it, girl. You brought it. You was bringing it.
Yes.
That's the vibe that we are bringing on the 21st,
Yes.
y'all.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
vibe that we are all bringing. Yes.
Yeah, and now listen, that's how you show that you can shoulder and support another woman. I mean, I asked for a video. I said, you all just do a video, kind of introing the She Is Well book. She sent me that book. I mean, that commercial. I was like, wait a minute. You put me to shame. I didn't even introduce my book like that. I didn't even as a visionary. So
that's what it did to me. That's what it did for me. And so I just wanted to share the energy.
Thank you so much. It just feels so good.
Your story, Latalia. I think it's the same energy that comes from your story. So you can tell that you were passionate about it, and it just flowed over to that. So, and if you want to know about a story, you gotta buy the book.
Absolutely. That's what we're here to share about today. So you guys, welcome. So as you can hear, we are all just bustling with excitement and joy, not only because it's Women's HERstory Month, as Latalia just reminded us, but we're also bumbling with joy for the countdown to 3-2-1, which is the launch of the She Is Well Volume 1 anthology, Stories of Power, Strength, and Wellness, with none other than myself as the visionary, joined by 20 other wonderful women that are going to, I describe the book as us sharing, getting the courage to share moments in our life to empower another woman. We even have an interviewed story that I did, which was my pleasure to interview someone from Team Ghana. And that just elevated me. I mean, we were smiling back and forth during that interview. And it's just the energy that comes from that. And her being a part of this project has just been a pleasure as well. So I cannot wait to share that with you all and for you to read that particular story in the book, along with the other 19 stories that will be shared as well. So ladies, welcome. We have Coach Latalia Palmer. And then we've got Dr. Rika Wilson.
Hello.
Is, provided us with the amazing forward for the book. Again, totally awesome. Making you want to get into it. So welcome tonight. And then we have none other than our last featured author, which is Tawan Lowe. She is with TLC Publishing. Cannot wait for her to share all the goodness. I've been driving her crazy getting these books. I mean, the blessings have just rained down on us for getting this book published in record time, printed, and then also up online, the ebook form. So I could, you guys heard me talk about this months ago when I said that this project was a blessing. And it's just proven to be true that we do, in fact, have the proof is in the pudding. We are being blessed. So, ladies, let's just, tonight is just a chat. There's nothing formal. we're just going to chat it up about Women's History Month. So I guess I'm going to start with you, Dr. Rika, since you always can seem to find the right words, which means that's why you're doing the forward for the book. So
okay.
I want you to thank you. You find the right words. That's that whole literary gift you have. So I want you to kind of tell us just some, why do you feel like Women's History Month is important? Why should there be a time or point in time that women should be recognized and honored for the work that they do?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, nobody would be here without a woman. So
say that again for the people in the back.
We can start with that. Okay. So we can start with that. And it's strangely enough, I was just talking to someone the other day about all the changes our bodies go through when we have children. I had 3 10-pound babies, and your bodies goes through so many changes. So we can just start with that, celebrating.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say 10-pound baby?
Yes. All of my sons were like 10 pounds. Yes. So my formal body, I don't think it'll ever come back. I left it in labor and delivery. It's gone. So I'm learning to.
That's fine. We honor the body that you have now.
And we embrace the new. But so it's so important just to celebrate who we are. There are so many things in society that tries to make us second guess our greatness and our beauty. So taking time just to celebrate who we are, what we have to give is just so important. And to remember those women that paved the way for us to even be here. I just think that's so very important.
Absolutely. And I could not have said that better myself. Outside of the 10-pound baby, 10-pound babies, I can relate to what we go through, both physically and emotionally, not only just with child bearing, but also just women bodies changing anyway. Y'all heard me say before we went live about the whole big M, right? How, just having to adjust and change things that we do regularly. So I think just recognizing women for the gifts that they bring, and not just for things that we quote unquote were told that we are supposed to do. Like there's certain roles that we're supposed to play. So I think being able to define our own roles has been a major turning of the ship, if you will, in the last probably century for us. I think women have been able to define that for themselves. So that's a gift in and of itself that I think deserves recognition. So Tawan, I'll ask you the same thing. Why do you think that Women's History Month and us supporting, recognizing, and giving recognition to women is so important?
So I'm going to take us back to the garden. I don't think it was by no accident that God created us. He created us on purpose with gifts and talents that was not just to be a helpmeet, but for us to help build the kingdom. And when I say kingdom, I'm talking about God's kingdom, but also help build this world. I think that for so long, women's stories have not been told. We got so many unsung women who you don't hear about, and women are breaking glass ceilings all over and doing different things. So if you just think about from where our mothers and our grandmothers have come from, and the different opportunities that we have and the different things that we have, Women's History Month is important because you need to know how She Is Well came about. You would never know that if we don't have history, Women's History Month, because this is making history. She Is Well is making history. So that needs to be told. So I think us having a month is minimal, but I'm glad that we are celebrated in this month so that you can see all that women are doing. I mean, just look at, we have a African-American woman in the White House serving as our vice president. We had a woman who was running for president. Made to elect. We're just doing so many different things on so many different levels, and all the things that we do, everything doesn't always have to be at that top level. We're doing things that people will never see and never know about. So I think it's just important, not that we just recognize all the women who are doing it at such a level and doing it in front of the whole world, but I think it's an opportunity for, like you just having this show and just talking about women who are unsung and who are doing that, because we need to be recognized, because truthfully, like she said, we wouldn't be here without a woman, and we are helping making America great. And I'm talking about a different type of great. So that's
boom. I like all of that. I like the unsung, making America great. I mean, you got all the buzzwords in there. I love, love, love. Absolutely. And so I think part of what you just said was something that I wasn't thinking of. Again, being the visionary, I knew that I wanted to give other women the opportunity to share their stories, to empower one another. And again, therapeutically, right? As I talked about before, being able to share your stories, to tell it, push through the pain, come through on the other side, share what, you know, again, what you've gone through, what you've grown through, and all of that. So being able to do that for that person who may never see their name in lights, may never, you know, grace the steps of the White House, or, you know, break glass ceilings or anything like that, but their story is their story. So yes, thank you for that.
But I want to say something. They're breaking their own glass ceiling. See, we got to stop measuring what the glass ceiling is, and that's another reason why we need to be celebrated, because it's we just changing the game. We really redefining things on our own terms. We're no longer being in that box. And if we are in the box, we drawing circles and diagrams in the box and doing something different. So I'm just loving the fact that we have evolved so much, and the world needs to see how we are evolving.
Yeah, we're no longer making circles fit into circles. We're making pegs fit into circles, right? We're making things do what they do. All right. So Coach Latalia, let's bring it on home.
Yes, listen, y'all are in here on fire. About to snatch my wig off listening to y'all. Listen, so, you know, and this just kind of came up as I was sitting here listening to you three powerhouses, is that if you suppress the woman's story, you are suppressing the story. There is no story without the woman's portion or part of it. Like Dr. Rika said, we are creation, you know, and she talked about giving birth. And Delana, you mentioned the pushing through the pain and coming through on the other side. And so we have that capability to give birth, and we understand what manifestation is, right? We understand that before something is expanded, you must contract first. You feel those contractions as you're getting ready to push that greatness through. You feel the contractions when it's time to birth something great. And through that pain, through those contractions, through that molding, through that forming of the support, through that pressure, once that greatness is ready to come through, you are expanded in a way that you never imagined you could be expanded. And here comes the head, the big old head, right? Something that you didn't think could come through there, right? But you, as the woman, have the power to bring that forward. And so when you don't tell that part of the story, the story's not being told. And for so long, they've tried to suppress the woman's story. But like Tawan said, we have a woman who ran, you know, for the president, and we have a woman that landed in the vice presidency space. You cannot contain that. You can't hold that down for but so long, because we're going to come out shining, swinging, birthing, rising, whatever you want. We got it.
Amen. Yep. And they were able to show us that. Yeah.
And Delana, may I speak to something with that? And so many of our sisters feel like they have to tell only parts of their story. Well, I can't tell that part because that's not a good part. I can't tell that part. That's not a good part. And it's in
You're going down a whole lane there. Yep.
It's in the parts. It's in the parts that we may feel embarrassed about. It's in the parts that we may feel that, you know, we don't want to share. Those are the parts where people get lifted. Those are the parts where we give other sisters strength. So I think that is very important. And especially for women of color, for them to remember that someone, if you're here, someone in your family, some woman had to survive the Middle Passage. She had to survive slavery. After slavery, she had to survive Jim Crow. And you're still here. You're here. You're here representing her. And so it's not, you don't have to break your story into pieces to make it look polished and to look pretty. Whatever it is what it is. And it's who you are. And it's because of that, you know, that you can really shine like a diamond, because you're telling what you already came through to inspire someone else.
Yes, absolutely. That's good stuff. And that is part of how we got to where we are today, which is I took something that I thought was going to be a solo project, something that I thought was just for me, and said, nope, I can spread this out and allow other women to shine and tell those parts that they didn't think was worthy of being put on paper, wasn't worthy to be heard, and wasn't worthy to be shared. And so being able to give them, right, the medium in which to do it and give them the encouragement, give them the okay that it's fine for you to share those parts. Tell your story and be free. And you don't know who else you may be freeing as you tell your story, and hold their hand while they do it.
And that's key, Delana. You don't know who else you're freeing when you tell your story.
Yes.
And that's another importance of Women's History Month, being able to spotlight and highlight those women who have made accomplishments. And like Tawan said, it doesn't have to be, huge. What you're doing, small beginnings are great, right? And
absolutely.
So someone who may be too intimidated to go straight to the moon, look at your small beginnings and say, you know what? I can take that step. I can do that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, at first it was just like kind of cute to say, oh, I'm going to, write this book and we're going to have all these authors in this book and kind of sharing their story. But for me, it was deeper. It was more or less like, no, you can run the neighborhood where you live and knock door to door and ask people to tell their story. It's the meaning behind what you're saying and what it is that you're trying to do with that particular project. It wasn't that I just was like, whoever wants to be a part of this. I truly sat down and asked each of them, what will telling this story do for you? It wasn't just about, oh, okay, come join the project, pay your fee, and, get in to be part of the book. Every single story in this book, and She Is Well, could have a headline of its own and make part of Women's History Month, because it's somebody's story and there's some legacy in there that's being created. So for me to do that, it was all encompassing, and it was so empowering. And that was before it went to print. This was during the editing phase. This was during the me reading it phase. Like, y'all don't even understand. I'm telling you, there was 3 authors I know for sure that when we did the one-on-one, right? Because again, I told you, I just didn't go knocking door to door for women to share their story. I sat with each of these authors one-on-one to hear their stories before they began to write. And I actually, with one of the authors, and I know she's going to talk about this and tell it on the launch day, we were coming up with her title and she was telling me her story. I jumped up out of my chair, came up with her title, ran around the room, and actually started crying. It was that type of thing when you know that you make that connection with the person. She was just waiting to tell me the story. And then as she was telling it, and I asked her what was the purpose, what was the message she was trying to share, together we worked out her title. Together we worked through how she was going to tell that story. And it got her through the pain in which she wanted to share, to tell the story. It was overwhelming for both of us, really. So when you do that, that's why I said when you share that story, it's not only free for you and therapeutic for you, but also for the reader of the story as well. So,
but when you talk about telling your story, because we always think about a good romance book and we think about this, but truthfully, and I don't know who said it, Dr. Rika or you, Latalia, if you're not willing to share the good, bad, and the ugly, you don't free yourself, nor do you free anybody else. All you did was just write something down. Actually, you was just journaling, and you wasn't even journaling correctly if you did that. And I'm just going to just free somebody up in that, because when you pretend in your journal, you're not even doing it right. But one of the things with this project, we was talking about impact and influence. That was the biggest thing that I said to Delana. I said with TLC Publishing, I don't just want to put any book together. I want a book that has impact and influence, and that is going to help changing the trajectory of people's lives. Because in order for us to have history, we really have to start healing. And, you know, because it's kind of hard to have history, because we're changing too how history looks. Because see, all of us on here, you know, in the African-American community, we don't tell stories. We do not tell our stories. That story stay in the house. It died with grandma. It died with great grandma. But we're breaking some curses by telling our stories, because now you can free some people up. Some of in reading the stories, I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you know, if I would have known some of these things when I was younger, or, just navigating some of the things that I've had to navigate in life, maybe this would have been, it could have been a different outcome, because I would have had more information, been better empowered. So telling the story, I think, as we're getting a lot around telling stories, you got to be willing to tell all the stories.
Yeah.
And you know where you find freedom at, because I was having a conversation with somebody, and I guess I'm gonna just have to be transparent. And, you know, it was about adultery. And I said, look, can't nobody hold me hostage about something I did 10, 15 years ago. And when I tell my story, it's because I'm truly free. And I tell it because I want somebody else to be free. I say, you can't talk about marriage and stuff that don't happen and stuff that happen and skate around it, because you're not helping everybody when you skate around the issue. Tell it what it is. Tell the damage it does. Tell it why it happens, so people can get a bigger picture and have an understanding. And that's why storytelling is important, but how all the parts of the story have to be told. I mean, we all entrepreneurs on here. You know, people tell you, hey, we can get you 6 figures and you can make this amount of money in this. They don't tell you how you're going to walk the floor in the middle of the night and be crying because your last client came through and you ain't got another one coming through. You ain't got no money. You don't know how to market. They don't give you all the ugly. They give you all the pretty. So storytelling really is about, for me, storytelling, especially for our history, is being able to tell it all, be unapologetic about what happened, heal, and move forward, so we all can grow. Because when one woman push up another woman goes up. I mean, it's just that simple.
That's right. Yeah. And what I like to go ahead, Dr. Rika. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love that. And I think another key component, a piece of that puzzle, is a lot of women, especially women who feel, or, you know, when we're racing to get another degree, we're racing to, open another business, we're racing to do wonderful things, right? We have our BMWs and Mercedes. We live in gated communities. And so we have an image, what people think, right? So I think when we began to take off the mask and really just get deep, like, sister, I know you look good. That's cute. That suit is cute. But what's really going on with you? You know, I think that that's very important. When we began to encourage women to take off the mask, do you like who you are when it's nobody but you in the room and you looking in the mirror? If you don't, then maybe you need, then maybe there's some things that you need to unpack. So I think that's very important. And I know for me, it's almost like a grief process. You have to get to the point where you're able to share. And some of the things that I've written, they're so traumatic until I have to stop writing and then go back and write it again, because I'm reliving it as I'm writing. So that's another thing. So women have to get to the point where they're healing as they're writing, as they're sharing, and feel like they're in a safe space to share. They're in a safe space to let it go. Let me tell you, he who the Son sets free is free indeed. Because I had to get to the point in my life when I wasn't, sitting in the closet crying, like, I can't believe he's gone. Like, what happened? And I poured this, and this in, and then I poured this, and this in. And then I had to get to a point like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay, because God has something better for you. And whatever was going on wasn't right anyway. So we just have to get to those points when we're honest with ourselves. And when we're honest with ourselves, then we can pour out to others and help other women get their freedom and remember that they are free. That's the one thing I really want women to remember, that you are free. I was talking to a woman and she was talking about her husband wasn't very kind to her. And she felt so, she just felt like she needed to be there for him and maybe he would change. And I too used to feel like, okay, well, maybe someone will change, maybe they won't. But we have to get to that point. Like, if you never change and this is who you're going to be, I have to decide, is this in alignment the way that I love myself? And if it's not in alignment with the way that I love myself, bye, boy, bye.
Right. Right. You end with that. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Rico, you said a mouthful. Absolutely. Being able to tell it. And Latalia, I know you're going to bring that right on home.
So there were so many good things. I done lost track,
know.
right?
You had me over here clapping.
The first thing I wanted to go back to, Delana, you are a midwife for people's legacies. Like, we're talking about History Month, but this is not only our history, this is what we're leaving on the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is our works, the works of our hands, the works of our mouths, the gifts that we've been given, and you've helped, and you've served as a midwife in that process. So thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. That's what I felt like in that scenario that I talked to you about with one of the co-authors. I truly felt like in that moment that I was a midwife. I mean, if you could just see what took place between us as we were talking on the Zoom, me helping her through that, it was phenomenal. It was amazing. So yes, I received that as far as being a midwife. And then Dr. Rika, there's something else that you said when you talked about was another point that you made as well about not telling part of the story. It's going to come to me. But like I was just over here saying, absolutely, absolutely being able to just be freeing and being transparent in your story and being able to share it.
Sorry, I think it's important too that when we're supporting people, when we're doing the midwifery, I don't know if that's a word, but when we're doing the midwifery, the midwifery, that we help people, women understand that you will get to the other side. You're not going to just stay stuck here, because there's a reason that people are hiding and not telling their stories. They're afraid too. It's scary. It hurts. It's that pus that's spewing out of the wound, and it's like, well, that wound was doing just fine before you opened it up. So where are we going with this?
Because they had patched it up real good. They had covered that wound up real good. They had patched it up real good. Yeah. And there you go, scratching it again, tearing off the Band-Aid and all that.
And when you tear the Band-Aid off, you got to know that with that comes sometimes the breakdown. The mental breakdown. Your body may physically break down because you are now acknowledging things as opposed to suppressing it. It's now going to come up and out of you. So you may literally experience a stroke. You may literally have some type of autoimmune disease. You don't know what's going to come as a result of your healing. And people need to understand that when you hit that point where it looks dark and you can't see your way through it and you don't know what the hell is going on in your life, keep going.
Yeah, keep pressing, keep pushing. I told you
in the darkness.
And I love going. And I love how you said the breakdown, because what I want to take from that is that after the breakdown comes the build up.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes it's like a house. Do you want to live in a house with a shaky foundation?
No, ma'am.
No, you don't, right? So when you tear down and you take away what's not supposed to be there, the next house, right, is going to be better because the foundation is right. So, we can encourage women to let them know, it's going to hurt, but that's okay. After the breakdown, the buildup is coming. And we're here to support you. We're here to love you through it. Because you can't tell everybody your business, but you got to have some women, that you have in your corner, and they're going to support you. And everybody's not going to like your story. Everybody's not going to like you. And that's okay, because guess what? It's not for them. But for whoever it is, it's going to go to them. They're going to get it. They're going to put that nugget in their pocket, and they're going to thrive, because that's what it's all about.
That's right.
But I want to touch on something you said, Latalia. You said something about when you open it and then when stuff come out. But do you know women are dying because they won't open it? We hold in and suppress so much. And that sometimes was causing the fibroids and the cancer. And we know it causes the depression and other types of things that go on in our body, because we are holding in so much mental toxin, that it is starting to have a physiological effect and causing us not to even be healthy and whole. So you scared to pull the Band-Aid off. we need you to just open your mouth, because the more you hold it in, the sicker you get. You just cannot heal holding it in. Some things that some of us have held on to has to come out. It just, and if it comes out in your book, if it comes out and you go to therapy, I mean, you got midwives working in different ways. Midwives ain't just the only one standing there holding your legs and waiting for you to push. I mean, it's some,
right.
again, they got to get in your mind. You know, you got to find out the best way for you to get your healing. And like Dr. Rika say, find that safe place where somebody will be there to love you and motivate you through that. But guess what? The moment you decide that you're going to either pull the Band-Aid off or you're going to open your mouth, just know the pain is coming, but the pain is temporary.
Right. Absolutely.
It's temporary. You know, it really is temporary. And you have choices to make once it happens. You want to be healed and whole, or you want to go back to that, you know, I'm going to just wither away and not be. And so you can't make history not being. You can't build your legacy not being, because that's what History Month, Women History Month about. It's about the legacy we live. All four of us stand on some strong shoulders. I know.
Absolutely. Yep. And we want to be able to be solid so that other women can stand on our shoulders as well.
Correct.
So in saying that, that's a good segue to say, if you do want to tell your story, Volume 2, we are now taking interviews, giving out information for Volume 2. Look at Natalia, she Volume 2. So just go to sheiswellbooks.com. And the information is there for you to get into Volume 2. I'm telling you, you would become part of our tribe. You don't just write a book and then sell your book and then roll on. You are part of a tribe throughout this whole process. So this is Volume 1, Tribe. There's 21 of us, including myself. So there's 20. And then Volume 2 is we are looking for 20 more women that want to be part of the hope, healing, and happiness. That is the focus of Volume 2. So just make sure you go to sheiswellbooks.com. The next call for authors interest meeting is going to be April 1st. We just had one on March the 1st. So we have almost half of our authors filled, and we would really like to have it wrapped up by the middle of April, towards the end of April, because that book will launch in September, which is the 10th anniversary of the Women's Wellness Lounge. So that's going to mean so much to me. By that time, hopefully we'll all be able to meet in person to do a live event and not just a virtual event, because I have so much more than just the books to celebrate. You know, my mom's legacy, the 10 years of the Women's Wellness Lounge, Volume 1 and 2 at the same time. I just really want to be on cloud 9 and standing on all of y'all shoulders, right? for this book, because that's what it's all about. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This has been a healthy, hearty discussion on not only Women's History Month, HERstory Month, as well as women's empowerment, but just the importance of storytelling. So you all will get so much more of that on the 21st, and how you can participate in that, because we only have a few tickets left, is to just go to sheiswellbooks.com as well and register. It's free to attend the event. It's going to be live. We have Dr. The esteemed doctor, I call her Dr. Jewel Diamond Taylor, as our keynote. We've got some entertainment for you. We got the 3 panels, the Power, Strength, and Wellness panel, just a lot that we really want to celebrate on that day. Join us for all or part of it. It'll be on the 21st from 11 till about 1-ish. I said 2, but I think if we stick to our timeline, we could get on there. But, you know, sometimes when women get together and we start talking, it might just go over a little bit, you know. So I want to put up your contact information for each of tonight's featured author. As I said before, Coach Natalia. Her chapter is Natalia. Unmute yourself. I'm gonna put your. There you go.
Listen, I thought you were going to keep going, but I'm going to be just giving the message about overcoming the pain, like breaking through into your purpose. Like you can overcome the adversity and live out your dreams.
Yes, and you can find out more about Miss Igniter, Dream Igniter, at nataliapalmer.com. And while I am getting ready to put Dr. Rika's information up there, I want to say that we have just been shown overwhelming love on Facebook, you guys. We have some of our other co-authors on here. We got Rochelle McAllister on. Both of the Rochelles. Rochelle Brightly Sherrod is on here. We have Dr. Cherie M. Good joined us. She said, hello, ladies. Darlacia Roundtree, Q Leaks, who's also another co-author. Then we have Angela Shackelford. Oh, we got Dr. Emma Neal, who's also one of our co-authors. Valerie Lawrence. Yes, hey, Valerie.
Hey.
Who else? She's another co-author. Lakeisha McGaney Osei, she's on here. Then we also have Tanya Young.
Party. Hey, Tanya.
We had a party on Facebook.
They having fun out there, Torn.
Angela Sanders, another co-author, was on here. So pretty much half of our tribe will join us live. We love you guys. Thank you all so much. So now I'm going to put, let's see. I'll bring on Tawan, and Tawan, you can tell us the name of your chapter as well as.
Look, why did I have to just ask myself, what's the name of my chapter?
Even now, I do know that one.
So my chapter is Empty Cradle, Shattered Heart. So I will be talking about what that means, and I can guarantee you it's not even what you think it means.
No, it's not. Again, one of those stories where you start reading
kind of like a different twist. But I'm excited, and I just can't wait.
Yeah, so find out more about her, TL Consultancy, TLC Publishing at Tawan.com for sure.
But wait, I'm sorry. Let me find out. We got suspense. We got suspense going on already. Like it's twisted. It's a twisted plot. Like what's happening? Let's get this
a little twist.
Yes, it's a little twist. Yes,
I love it.
Elena, while you wait for Dr. Rika to come back on, can I say?
I'm gonna wait for her to come back on.
Can I make an announcement?
Yes.
Can I just tell everybody that they can get pre-orders at what?
Oh yeah, wait a minute, hold on. I had the pre-orders. I had a pre-order thing, but I had my site. But you also can do pre-orders from barnesandnoble.com. barnesandnoble.com. We just got that notification. So I haven't updated the website, but you can go to barnesandnoble.com to also do.
She as well. Let's do this.
Look,
yes.
You can pre-order. They will mail it out on 3/21.
Okay.
Yes. You can pre-order the hard copy of the book on there as well. Or you can go to my website. So let me add Dr. Rika back on here really quickly and put her website up. Dr. Rika is, I love her. She is the founder of Brown Girl Wellness. And I have her website up. And Dr. Rika, tell them the name of your chapter.
The name of my chapter is August. The Power of Seasons. Is talking about how seasons do change.
Yes. And that also is one of those stories that you have to read with a twist, because I always talk about literary.
Yes.
So, another great story. So again, I'm just telling you, all of these stories in here are they're all very, very good. Again, I don't think that any of the ladies just signed on to say, oh, I have some stuff that I want to put on paper. Every story was written with a purpose, and that's what I love. Even my own. It took me
I was going to ask you, what's your title?
Yeah, mine. Of course, I'm telling the story of how I didn't allow grief to eat me, to overcome. So it's going through grief and loss in a healthy manner, more or less. So it's taking me back to the loss of the matriarch of our family. So, and everything that I went through with that, and then talking about how grief can hit you in various ways. So I kind of walk you through the steps of that grief and loss.
It's going to be powerful.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely going to be powerful. Y'all know I have to tell the story, but also bring it around to show that there's a healthy side to that. Yeah. So thank you all for spending this time with me. I always have.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The She Is Well intro takeover. So the next time that all of us will be in the same space, in the same room together, virtually, will be on Sunday. We'll be on Sunday when we have the actual the launch. When I tell you we're gonna bring straight energy, straight fire, it is just going
to be two crazy people on here. Look,
I know. Absolutely. So imagine that much
I'm
energy
ready.
in the room, y'all. That much
I'm
energy
ready.
in the room. Yes, I'm ready as well. So thank you both.
Yes.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Dr. Rika. Again, the
you.
forward, I read that, and it just, even what you put in there just kind of, sets the tone for what's going to take place when people read the book. So thank you for that.
I can't wait to read it.
Amazing, amazing. So yes, thank you, ladies. And Latalia, you know what we're gonna go out on, right? We're going out on that one, right? So
I'm gonna do another one.
yeah,
I'm gonna hire you, Natalia. I'm gonna hire you to do some commercials for me. I'm gonna hire you.
Yes, I love it.
That energy.
Good night, ladies.
Hey, greatness, Latalia Palmer, the Dream Igniter here, reminding you that dreams do come true. I am so honored to be a co-author alongside my amazing powerhouse co-author sisters as we celebrate and announce the official book launch and virtual summit for the She Is Well book, Volume 1, Power, Strength, and Wellness. This book and summit's visionary and host is none other than my girl, my sister, my friend, Delana K. Watkins. We kick off this powerful event on March 21st. It is a life-changing historical book that is being released during Women's HERstory Month to make an even greater impact on the world. We are sharing powerful stories, telling our truths, and purging toxic scenarios as we continue on the journey to be well while encouraging other women to join us. So please share, support, and register to attend this book launch and virtual summit at www.sheiswellbooks.com.